Operating in 30 states, as I mentioned, we also know the challenge of coordinating the excavation and right-of-way encroachment activities to be in compliance with a myriad of state programs that exist out there. The implementation of the 811 as a national number has contributed greatly to standardizing this first initial step in the damage prevention process, and the national campaign to promote 811 has been highly successful, and I think we've seen an example here this morning. Our El Paso group, we actively promote this, not only in our advertising, we do it on our vehicles and all of our public awareness materials. And last year, our team members came up with a program to expand this effort to ensure that all of our employees understood the value and the education that is associated with 811, not only for the work they perform on a daily basis, but also to take it home in their personal lives. So again, repeating those efforts to gain better understanding throughout this, and we plan to continue with all of these programs again this year and in future years. The CGA best practices has been widely circulated and used in our operations. I saw the updated version on the tables as well. We have it linked on our website internally for all of our folks to use. We have an annual contractor forum which was held last week. We had well over 300 attendees from the contractors and service providers that were there, and we provide them always with an updated version of the best practices. We're also currently constructing one of the largest pipelines we've constructed, certainly recently, about a 680-mile, 42-inch diameter pipeline from Wyoming over to the California-Oregon border. And this is being constructed under the PHMSA alternate maximum allowable operating pressure rules and regulations. And as part of these regulations, it's going to require us to perform a formal review of our damage prevention program and certify that each element either meets or exceeds the corresponding elements in the CGA best practices. So therefore, it's adopted by the regulators, it's in practice by the operators, it's something that we are going to commit to achieving, and we're on track to being able to submit that before we place that pipeline in service this summer. We also support other important initiatives such as National Safe Digging Month in April, and also August 11th as 811 Day. The education materials and videos that have been created by CGA have become an important part of our communications program, and they provide a very relevant reminder of the right things to do to prevent incidents. And also, it's amazing to me when you ask the team members to get a little creative on how they're going to get the message out there, how they find new ways to do this, and our team, I think, has been very creative. We also wanted to look at our own way to incorporate horsepower, like you see in this car, into our messaging. So instead of, since the race car had already been taken, we looked at the Houston Rodeo because of all of the horse activity there. And so our team members came up to kick off the rodeo. For those of you in Houston or have been through Houston, it is a huge event. Hundreds of thousands of people come there. When they kick it off, they have a barbecue. So our team members came up with a program to sponsor one of the tents, and we also invited a lot of our local emergency responders to participate in this event. But in this tent, we were able to get the Tennessee Gas Pipeline logo up there with the 811 call before you dig and get that information out there. So again, it was another venue from our teammates to find creative ways to get the message out there. So I think tremendous progress has been made, but I think the work is far from over. I think there are still significant challenges in the area of awareness, cooperation, and where needed, the enforcement that we must overcome. And I'm sure all of you and the appropriate committees are working on those. Past programs have shown us that new technologies can be used to provide focused improvement in the one-call process. However, broader use of new technologies is another area that we need to continue to encourage development on. Universal application of one-call requirements through the removal of selective exemptions for some groups will reduce the number of unmanaged encroachments and lead to fewer incidents. As member companies, we must continue to improve our own processes to reduce damages and enhance excavation safety. In other words, we must all be unrelenting in our ambitions to make this happen. We must broaden the reach of our important CGA messages to newer audiences. Some efforts are already underway to leverage created new relationships between some of our stakeholder groups, and as Vic mentioned, the regulators, investors, and insurers to improve overall awareness. So in closing, I'd like to thank all of you that have been instrumental in creating this great organization. Those for the foresight. They had the vision to require an environment in which our structure fosters consensus and inclusion of all stakeholders. They had the vision to involve the stakeholder groups to make sure that all the right players had a voice in this process. They had the vision to select board members and key leadership to get this organization off to a great start. So in this spirit, it becomes our responsibility to continue to look for new opportunities to enhance damage prevention, to actively participate with our time and financial support, and to adopt and promote initiatives that come forth from the CGA. Thank you very much, and have a great conference.